right, guys, you probably recognize this lock. It came in a couple of weeks ago in a package with 2 or 3 different locks in it, all from TJ's Custom Gunworks. And I got to tell you, this was TJ's second attempt. He's a custom gun maker located out in California. He actually sent me some unmarked locks a couple of months ago, and he sent a quick note that said, hey, tell me, try to pick them, tell me what you think. And I ended up trying, and I couldn't get them, and I didn't want to take them apart to give away their secrets. I didn't figure I didn't pick them. I didn't make a video. Really wasn't my place. So I sent them back, and I told him, man, on that one I broke a pick. On that one I broke this other stuff, and just wasn't able. Thanks for sending them in. Not really understanding what was going on. So TJ repackaged them, rebuilt the locks for me, sent them back, and you guys probably recall 2 weeks ago, he earned a Paclock in a Whipped It video on his ball wall lock, which looked very similar to this one. Now, in his note that he included with this one, he says, I'm going to read this because it's got some personal info. He says, the second lock I originally made up as a practical joke lock, which is apparently identical to this one, his second attempt. He says, I thought it would amuse you. Unfortunately, after breaking your picks and your spinner, I don't think you were very amused at all. At the time, I really wasn't. He said, I'm really sorry about that, buddy. I'll just tell you that when you got it, you'll see it was meant as a joke and is not practical to do the modifications as a legitimate lock upgrade. I hope you have a sense of humor. Ball bearings will pour out of it when you pull the core, even if you try to shim it, so be forewarned. It is a, all caps, joke lock. So anyway, I tried to pick this thing. I've spent way more than 30 minutes on it this time as well. He did make some modifications to the keyway. You can see on the top, it's kind of got the melt treatment on the top to prevent me from putting in the top of the keyway spinner. Let me go ahead and clamp it up, and let's take the lock cam and look down inside of here. And I'll show you what I saw the first time I did that. All right, right away you can see, let me get it focused here. You can see on the top, we have the top pin, and you can see I've been working on this thing. Put a lot of microscopic marks in the top of that front one, but let me try to refocus and focus a little bit deeper into the keyway. Other way, Bill. And I think you will be able to, let me move down and get a little better angle. You can see one more pin in the back there, and that's it. So I don't know if there may be more hidden behind them. I really can't tell, and I can't get a good feel either. And the reason I can't is because right here in the front is a friggin' ball bearing blocking the way. And if you look, try to move the cam to the right, a little bit further to the right, you can see something protruding that I've scraped up with my pick. So when I squeeze by that, you can see there's really not much of a gap, again with the focus, not much of a gap in there. So what's happening, I believe, is that when I stick my pick through there, that piece on the right is forcing me into the ball bearing with the pick, which then will seize up the core by wedging inside of there. I tried looking along the bottom here. I don't see anything all the way to the back on the bottom. So it looks like the bottom is clear of detents and things like that. But I think we have at least one ball bearing blocking the keyway. And I'm trying to get a look, see if I can see behind him, but really can't. Not a very good view, but you can see clearly there's something sticking out there about half of the way into the keyway that forces your pick into that ball bearing. So that's probably what we're dealing with. Now, I did try to get around him. I didn't have a whole lot of luck. So I have spent more than a day on this. I'm not going to waste any more time of your time trying to fruitlessly pick at it. So I thought I am again giving up. It is a joke lock. So let's go ahead and open it up and find out what kind of trickery is inside of here. And if nothing else, you guys get a lot of entertainment because we get ball bearings flying everywhere, apparently. Okay, here is the original key. And he calls this, by the way, his mummy tubes. I think that's a great idea to keep me out of it. Let's see what the key looks like. I'll bet it's got some kind of accommodation for that ball bearing up in the front. Whoa. Now, did not expect that. And I see really no accommodation for that thing. Maybe it goes under him. I don't know. Let's see what happens here. Works perfectly. No snagging, no nothing. Man, it looks like only a 4-pin lock, too, based on the length of that key. This is going to be embarrassing. But hey, that's what this is all about, right? All right, let me get this junk out of the way. We'll keep that key up here. I will get a pinning tray. Let's get the Jeep. And we'll use him. All right, Phillips. I tried picking this thing forward. I tried picking it backwards. I thought I had it picked. Uh-oh, what do we got here? Looks like another note. Okay, we won't be needing that. Let me read this off camera. Okay, so it says, same note as last time. Hopefully we've got some more luck this time. Line up the 2 detent dots on the rear of the cylinder to align the gate and remove the core. All right, so we do have some dots here, and I can see a side pin right there, right on the very back. Let's put this in there. Beautiful. Beautiful mods to this thing. All right, the bar in the back is not a detent. I thought it would push him out of the way, but it is not. So he wants me to align it, I think, like that. All right, so let me go ahead and pull off the clip. And then the fun will begin. All right, so line up the dots. Find a follower. Oh, there we go. And hope that is, you know, I don't want to hope. There's going to be enough disasters, right? I am going to shim it, and then I'm going to slowly pull it out. Since I've been pre-warned that ball bearings are going to come shooting out, I will very slowly push out the core. Come on. Okay, I felt some click. There is one ball bearing on that side. That's the one that we know about. So let's go ahead and push this out. There's one ball bearing. Oh, wait a minute. There's ball bearing number 2, which we did not see in the video. Ball bearing 1 is not coming out. I don't know why. So we know he's there. If we drop a ball bearing, we're going to know it. All right, let's keep going. I heard another ball bearing hit the ground. Right there he is. Guys, I don't know where that thing came from. Let's keep going. Okay, there is where he came from, right there. And then there's also a ball bearing in chamber 6. All right, hasn't been too bad just yet. I do have a pin and a spring that popped out here in chamber 1 because the shim wasn't in the way. So let's go ahead and get him in the right position. And we're going to need a spring grabber. That's chamber 2, actually. Here's chamber 1. And that other spring is coming out of chamber 2. I'm going to retract a little bit and try to pull the spring out of there. What in the world's he doing all mashed up in there? Now, he's coming out of one of the other chambers. It looks like chamber 3. So that's probably the one that had that other ball bearing. Let me retract the follower. So he's probably chamber 3. All right, it hasn't been too disastrous. All right, the shim is still holding pin 2 in. Before we do that, though, let's get the spring for chamber 1. I need 2 hands. All right, that was number 2. He popped out. Okay, let's get these 2 ball bearings. That's not where they went. So he did go in chamber 3, and I would be willing to bet one or more of these, probably one of these guys went in chamber 3, because that guy fell out of the back of the core. Okay, let's pull that shim out. Let's push this follower in there. Let's get rid of the paper, because this is going to be interesting when we start getting around to the back. This little guy right here, I have no clue what is going to happen there. All right, we do have a ball bearing in chamber 6. Two ball bearings in chamber 6. And I have no spring in chamber 6. I have no idea what this screw on the side that's epoxied in place does. He doesn't look like he... Oh, I know what he does. He was pressing the ball bearing into the back of the core right there. All right, so that'll work. All right, let's keep going. Let's turn the follower. Try not to screw it up any worse than we have. All right, there's number 5. And I don't see a spring in there. There he is. All right, here's number 5's spring. All right, let's keep going. Here's number 4. He's not coming out. Hardly any spring pressure on him at all. Standard pin. And I don't see any spring in chamber number 4. All right, what are we missing here? Are we missing any more? Okay, there is a spring in chamber 3. That I cannot get. He's in there for sure. There he is. All right, I did mangle that. So he got caught in the follower when the ball bearing started shooting out. I'm not seeing why this was so difficult yet. Okay, these guys, we got that as a follower. Number 4. Number 4 is missing. And there's no spring in 6. It looked like there was a spring in 4, though. Okay, let's go ahead and... All right, I don't have a key pin. We have the key pin for 1. And we have number 4 spoken for. Number 4, all we have is a spring. There's nothing in that chamber. Let's see if maybe I misjudged, and because we had 2 ball bearings here. They got to go somewhere. And I'm thinking they went in 4. And that would be about right. All right, so that's 4. Let's go ahead and pull 5 out. Okay, there's the other ball bearing for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we also had a key pin here. Tiny little guy. All right, number 1. Looks like we have 3 pins in chamber 1. And in chamber 2, same deal. There's a key pin already. And number 3, we had ball bearings, a standard follower, and then a little serrated key pin. And we got one ball bearing I can't get out. There he is. So he goes over here with that guy. So we had twin ball bearings on the side of the keyway. So it's like a ball wall. So we had one on this side, one on this side, and then when they're in there, it looks like they're pressed to the center. So I saw the one on the left. I did not see the one on the right, but he was clearly blocking. That must be what I thought was a piece of warding, when in fact it was the edge of that ball bearing hiding behind the existing warding on that side. So that would push your pick to overset those. But why would that be important? Because I don't see anything over here to lock those balls into. They should not have come into play other than to restrict my access. I don't know, guys. And then this last one, this screw apparently is to tension this last ball bearing into that little groove in the core. What would that be for? Because if it's too tight, it's going to seize up the core. If it's any lighter than that, it's not really going to have any effect at all. So we had to line those up to line up the gate. So if I lined up the gate, if that ball bearing was there, and I lined that up, and I started to extract that core, that ball bearing that was trapped in there would have popped up inside of one of these cylinders. That's a nasty little trick. Anyway, that would make it impossible. Anyway, there's what you go, guys. Probably another one of these unpickable designs. I'd appreciate if you guys got any insight, because I'm trying to do this on the fly. Everything looks standard except number 3. We got undercut on both sides. And on chamber 3, we had some ball bearings, and then we had one of the few security pins in the whole lock, this little guy, to get trapped in there. But being a key pin, I would imagine that he would simply have stayed aligned. I'm not sure that would have come into play at all. Yeah, I think that cylinder would have kept that pin perfectly aligned, and he never would have had a chance to get caught up. Yeah, I know what that's for. That's to trap the ball bearing in that groove. That's what that's for. You dog. All right. Anyway, guys, there you go. The Joker lock from TJ Custom Gunsmiths. I can't imagine how long it took to build this. I am certainly not going to even try to reassemble it because, first of all, I'm not 100% positive I got it apart the right way with all the ball bearings falling out left and right. Appreciate your time, guys. Stay safe, stay legal, long videos. But when you get locks like this, man, it's inevitable. You can't make a 5-minute video out of it unless you do it half-assed. Thanks, guys. Well, guys, TJ's joke lock had me so mixed up, I completely forgot today is Saturday. And no Saturday is complete without a giveaway. So this Saturday, I'm going to be giving away, got to make it worth your while. If you watch that long, let's make it a good giveaway. I'm going to give away a brand new Mad Bob's Trilogy pick set, the one I reviewed about 2 weeks ago, still brand new in the wrapper. Along with that is going to go the flat 5 set from Sparrows, different widths of top of the keyway tensioners, and then the heavy bar. So everything from 40 thousandths, I believe it is, all the way down to, I believe, 20 thousandths. So every possible top of the keyway tensioner, you're going to have it to go along with that. And you're going to need a couple of rakes. You might as well get one of these guys. This is the fairly new, I think it's about a month and a half old, the Praxis kits, the Polaris kit from UK Bump Keys. A great assortment of rakes, as long as a couple of weird ones We still don't know what the name of those things are, but you're going to get them. And lastly, if you got all these picks and all these tensioners, you need something to pick and tension on. And I'm going to give you one of these from Learn Lockpicking. Dump everything out here. And this one is, this is the Ultimate Challenge Lock. So, threaded chambers, brand new cylinder, still got the plastic on there. You can pin this up progressively with this bag of all these parts and security pins. There's even T-pins in this new kit. So you get to try every type of security pin progressively. Start out with 1 or 2, and then fill the chambers. As you get better and better, you can fill all those chambers up. Great little training lock. I have 2 of these myself. I have both versions, the Ultimate Challenge Lock and also the Standard Challenge Lock, the one with the 6 cylinders. Great training tool. You don't have to carry around a big bucket full of training locks. Anyway, guys, if you'd like to win this, all you got to do right there, that's the website. In the middle of the page is a big purple bar that says Weekend Giveaway. Click it, register. With a little bit of luck, you'll be the lucky winner of all of this stuff next Saturday. Appreciate your time, guys. Stay safe, stay legal. Don't forget to hit the subscription button as well as that notification bell. As always, if you hit that like, it kind of gives me an idea of how things are going. And also, it's good for the metrics for the website. Thanks, guys. If you like the idea of growing the lock sport community, please consider supporting the LockLab by either becoming a Patreon or clicking the join button below.